Hey, Paul, good to see you. Thank you for participating in this podcast series.
My pleasure, Sheila. It is wonderful to see you coming from the other side of the planet.
I know, right? Okay, so who is Paul Motion? Let the people know who you are.
That's a huge question, and we could talk for a very, very long time on that one. So I started life as a sound engineer back in the early 90s.
Cool.
And through various things, I got into video games. I was recording voices for video games, starting on some of the very early video games, like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. And that was really, really awesome. It was a sort of a transition from making music to recording voice, and then just got into video games just generally in publishing. And throughout the last sort of 25 years, various different incarnations. But my heart's always been in music. You know, I think music is where it's at.
Nice. So where are you from? Where you from? Because I'm gonna delete all these mistakes. Okay. So
all good. It's all good.
where are you from?
No worries. So I'm a bit of a Jippo. I was born in Portugal, and we moved back to the UK. I'm half Irish, half English, lived in the UK, lived a little bit in Ireland, lived in France, back and forth in Portugal. I mean, I'd like to say I like to say I live there, because I think Portugal is probably my spiritual home a little bit.
Oh, cool.
I think, but you know, it's a little bit disingenuous. I didn't really live there, like, you know, I didn't go to school there or anything like that. But it is it's somewhere where I kind of think, I feel like that's my home. I got married and we moved to Melbourne in Australia. My wife's from Sydney. So, yes, I am from lots of different places in Europe and currently living in Melbourne in Australia, which is the music capital of Australia. All of you Brisbane people will be very upset, but sorry, that's the truth.
Very, very cool. So what's it like living in Australia?
Look, you know, Sheila, we are very, very lucky here. You know, I don't think it's, I mean, we could talk about everything that's going on in the world. It's an interesting time.
Right.
But in Australia, I think we've got our troubles, just like everyone. We have the huge bushfires that devastated a lot of the East Coast a year or two ago. We've got the floods that have devastated the East Coast this year. But honestly, compared to some places in the world, we have it a lot better than others. It's a great quality of life. The weather it's springtime now, so the weather is beautiful. We have beautiful beaches and sunshine, and then we have beautiful mountains, which I love. So yeah, it's great. I love Australia.
Nice.
It's a great place to be.
Come and visit. Oh, really? I get an invitation. How cool is that? Okay, I'm gonna take you up. I'm gonna take you up on that.
Nice.
So Paul, let me start off by saying that everybody has an affinity for music or a love for music, something that drives them to stay and stick with this particular passion. As a matter of fact, this is why I actually created this podcast series. So what started your love or affinity for music?
I think it's a bit boring to say that I've always loved music. But, you know, I mean, I think it is a thing. I was watching a thing with Justin Hawkins, who does an excellent YouTube, and I would strongly advise anyone to check it out. It's pretty good. He was talking about a recent YouTube for he reviewed a YouTube of Jordan Peterson. Now political viewpoints aside, whatever with Jordan Peterson, I'm not going to talk about that. But he was talking about how music moved him, how he went to go and Jordan Peterson went to go and see a band in Nashville, and this band, I know they had a guitarist and he played a solo, and it moved him to tears.
Oh, okay.
Now, for me, that's what music can do. I was watching another YouTube. It seems to be the viewing thing of choice these days.
Oh yeah. I'm
And
on it all the time.
there you go, right?
Uh
So
huh.
I love those the talent shows, but the singing talent shows, and particularly the ones where you just get this sort of really unassuming person that steps up to the mic and then they just blow everybody away.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean that kind of voice or that kind of talent just reduces me to tears, and I don't think there are many mediums that can do that so
Right.
easily and so quickly within the space of sort of 2 minutes, and just
Mhm.
you know so I guess my start is funnily enough, I guess Indiana Jones and
Oh,
my mum. Yeah, I know, right? So Indiana Jones is a weird one. So when I was a kid, they had this album that came out called Raiders of the Pop Charts, and it was, gosh, very, very early '80s, like maybe '82 or '83, I can't remember. And on the
okay.
front of it, it had a picture of some dude dressed up as Indiana Jones, and I was a huge Raiders of the Lost Ark fan, and really, I wanted to be Indiana Jones. So
Really?
yeah, man, of course, the
How
fedora and
cool.
the hat and everything.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I bought that, and that was just chock full of some of the greatest '80s music you ever heard, and that was it really. And my mum, I probably knew all of the songs on the ABBA album Voulez-Vous before I was 10.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
because mum was a huge kind of fan. So yeah, so that was cool. And she had a brilliant record collection like Bob Dylan and the Beatles and Mozart and Beethoven. And so just a really eclectic collection, which has informed my taste. Now I have a very broad taste in music. I kind of like all sorts of things. So yeah,
Nice. So do you still have your vinyl at all? Your vinyl records?
I do. I have a whole stack of vinyl in the cupboard down
Awesome.
there. I love my vinyl. My kids come in and we'll
Awesome.
go through it together. And oh yeah, absolutely love the vinyl. It
Yeah,
sounds terrible, but it's a
yeah,
vibe. It's a thing. So
yeah. I still have some too, so I just popped that question in there, so I was curious. But
yeah,
so since
absolutely.
you brought up your mom, so the next question was, has anyone in your family inspired you to get into music? Was it your mom?
Um, uh, that is a good question. I would say it probably, honestly, it wasn't my mum.
Okay.
I'd say probably my dad to a small degree.
Mhm.
And I say a small degree because I don't really have a relationship with my dad, and haven't for, yeah, I didn't know him really. So,
Okay.
but he's a very talented musician, as is my half brother. The kind of, you look at them and you just go, you're disgustingly talented. Plays,
Yeah.
5 or 6 instruments. My dad plays the stand-up bass, like the contrabass, and
Uh-huh.
piano. And I remember I went to, I think they had a birthday thing at a Soho restaurant, and then my dad and my half brother got onto the piano and were playing a boogie woogie piano together at the
Oh
same time.
wow.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, it was awesome. So yeah, not envious at all. But then again, also I'd say my grandmother as well. My mum tells a story when I was little. We were at a park or something, and my grandmother said to my mum, "Oh," she was looking at me. I can't remember what I was doing. I know I was small, and she says, "Oh, that boy will be something in music one day."
Mhm.
And there you go. I was. So yeah.
So, how old were you when you started in music?
um, Properly understanding. I mean, I've played instruments since I was sort of 8, 7 or 8.
That's
Piano.
young.
Yeah, well, mum wanted me to play instruments, but she wasn't very, what's the word? Mum definitely wasn't strict. She's an old hippie, so she
Okay.
definitely wasn't the kind of like, oh, you will do it. And I wish she had been. Hey kids,
Oh,
go learn an instrument, do it, and stick at it because you'll love it when you're older. So yeah, I guess properly understanding that sound engineering was where it's at, and that's where I wanted to be, like the person twiddling the knobs and messing with tape and all that. I was probably about 15 or 16, and there
oh,
was a friend of the family who he used to do jingles for ads, and he managed an artist, a lady called Jackie Quinn, beautiful voice, kind of a Nora Jones sort of deal.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
really beautiful voice. Unfortunately, she wasn't successful, which was a bit sad. But
yeah.
and I went and edited some tape for him, just like little eighth inch, eighth inch, not quarter inch, less than quarter inch. Yeah, eighth of an inch. I don't know what do you call that these days? It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just I'm old, Sheila. Jesus.
No, don't even worry about it. You look great, by the way.
Oh,
Um,
bless you. Thank you.
oh, real quick. So you do play instruments, right?
I don't actually.
Oh, you
No,
don't.
I
Cool.
don't. No, I don't. I try. I'm very much, I have a drum pad and I have a keyboard. You know,
Okay.
I think I understand music. The chord resolution, but
Uh
I could
huh.
never tell you the theory. Just what sounds good, and then
Right.
rhythm.
Uh
I
huh.
can sing, I guess, at least
Oh,
with heart. I'm certainly no Freddie Mercury, but I
nice.
do love singing.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So, but no, I don't. I always used to say that the mixing desk was my instrument. As soon as I got behind that, I
Oh,
was like,
I
yes,
love
this
that.
is.
Can I just use that for like a title of something?
Oh, hell yeah.
The mixing
Absolutely.
desk is my instrument. I actually love that. Thank you.
Take it, Chi. It's yours. I give it to you with love.
Oh, thank you. I have much love for you too, especially for you showing up today.
Hey, absolutely, man. Show up with heart.
Yes, I appreciate it. Let me see. Oh, so since we're on that subject, I consider music to be healing. So music is
Mm,
healing.
mm.
How has music helped you heal in life or continue to help you heal? For example, family, kids, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's another big one. So I went through 3 years of depression, maybe a bit more,
Okay. Okay.
and a lot of that time was kind of trying to stop myself from cycling into traffic.
Okay.
It was some pretty dark times.
Mhm.
And I think a huge part of being able to get through that, not only finding a really amazing counselor, get help if you feel bad, get help,
Right.
but also
Exactly.
music. Like music was huge. The thing that made me feel good, I said, I think I can sing. I enjoy singing,
Mhm.
and I think that's the main thing. It makes me happy and it makes me feel good. That was the thing. One of the things that really helped me whenever I felt terrible or felt bad, and I had the opportunity. I go for a drive and be in the car and just put some music on and sing along to the music, and that's always helped me. There are songs that will always evoke something in you and will always
Mhm.
make you feel a certain way. And I think I've learnt, like a lot of people will bury my feelings, and I've learnt over the years that you need to be able to let those feelings out, and
Yes.
own them and express them and understand them. And I think music really helps with that. It helps you
Yes.
feel a certain way and helps you understand feelings and how you feel.
Yes.
So yeah, I completely agree. Music is absolutely healing. I think it's a huge part of life. And as I said earlier, I think any there aren't many things that can reduce someone to tears or make someone feel such a strength of emotion within such a short time period. That yeah, other than music, really.
Exactly. Totally agree with you. Spot on. It's gotten me through a lot of situations too. So, and the fact that I get to hang out with just some of the coolest people in the world, like you. You know.
Oh, bless you. What do you
Oh,
play, She? I see guitars. What do you play?
um. Well, I wouldn't call myself a guitarist. I am learning guitar.
Hmm.
I started with voice. I'm a singer.
Nice.
When the voice kicks in, I'm a singer.
What kind of stuff do you sing?
Um, just pretty much what I was exposed to by my mom, dad, and my brothers and my sister. A lot of R&B and just a lot of soul music back in the day. Um, yeah, I wouldn't know how to describe my voice because it's I don't know, it's different. But
Different is good. Different is
yeah,
good.
just voice, and then I started on the drums, and then I went to the piano, and where else did I go? Yeah, drums, piano, voice, drums, piano, and a little bit of bass and guitar. So that's where I left off. That's enough, right?
Yeah, you got a whole band there. Like, yeah, you could do a whole band yourself. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting back into playing. I had to walk away from it for a little bit, but now I'm back into it. So I'll probably get into doing some more production work and recording. I don't know about the songwriting stuff. I'm learning that too. That's a learning process.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm like you. Music is everything to me. So I wouldn't want to do anything else. So, but
Mm-hmm.
speaking of that, speaking of doing things, um, a while back you told me you had, started a new job.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's your job title?
So my actual title is Senior Development Director. But what that means is basically just a producer. So I make video games. I'm not a programmer or an artist, unfortunately. I don't have that talent. But I am I'm a game producer.
Oh, wonderful. So what does a game producer do?
Um, so yeah, I had to think about this, and
Okay.
because it's it's a question that a lot of people ask, and they kind of go, "What do you do?" And my standard answer is, "I am basically a project manager." But God, that sounds boring, doesn't it? I mean, no offense to
Well,
all the project managers out there, but it's it's a big part of it. But I think thinking about this, I think it is much like the music producers of old. The kind of the Jack Douglases and the Shelley Yackerses and the Bob Ezrins. And hey, I'm not putting myself in the echelon of such great people like that,
yeah.
but just purely from the point of view of what they do. It's a you. What did I wrote something down here. It's like, yeah. So facilitate the space for more talented people to do awesome things, which
Okay.
is basically, I think, what a producer does, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They create that space, right? Like you
Right.
need to.
Totally.
I think Warren, our esteemed leader of the Produce Like a Pro Academy, again, check out the Academy. If people don't know it, you should check it out. He talks about Jack Douglas just making that space. He talks about I think it was Stevie Wonder, leaving space in the room for God and all that sort of stuff.
Stevie, yes, Stevie.
Yeah, like I'm not religious, but I get the analogy. It's
Oh yeah, I got you.
right. It's kind of just the space in the room for people to be creative, like no ego, no no self-inflation or ego inflation. It's not about you as an individual. It's about the people that you're working with and the team creating something amazing. And I think as a
Nice.
producer, that is your job. That's what you're there to do. People talk about soft skills, and there's a guy called Simon Sinek, again someone else I think people should check out, who
Mm-hmm.
talks about soft skills, and he gets really angry, and I 100% agree with him. They are not soft skills. The hardest thing in the world is empathizing with people and listening to people and understanding how people are and who they are, and
Right.
creating the space for those people to be the best and produce the best of themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's certainly not a soft skill. That is a hard skill. That is, human skills are difficult. So
Yes.
so I think,
It,
that's what a game producer does, is apart from all of the project management stuff, we also try and make a space where creative people feel that they can create.
yes, interacting with humans, isn't that special?
You said it. Special is the word.
Yes, yes. So, well, you kind of answered my next question about the skills to do your job. So we're going to skip that one,
Oh,
and
okay.
because it sounds more like human development and you know,
You're going to say HR. Are you going to say human resources, she?
no, no, no,
I'm going
no,
to.
no. If you got to work with humans, there has to be some kind of development there. I'm definitely not going to say interpersonal skills.
Wait a minute. What's this podcast on again?
Yeah,
Sorry, hang on. Wait.
but yeah, right. But if you had to train a person, you would explain it the way you explained it to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
pretty
Yeah.
much. So my next question is: do you know how music and sound is done for games?
Yes.
Oh, take your time.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, it is part of the process, and I think music, like anything, it evokes a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last game I made, or not I made, the last game I was a part of and worked on, Call of Duty Vanguard. It's a game set in World War II, and you wouldn't have sort of electro pop synth instrumentation in there. You wouldn't have sort of this sort of very futuristic space age kind of instrumentation. It's a bit more bombastic, French horns and orchestration and all of that sort
Mm-hmm.
of stuff, because that's going to evoke the kind of feeling that you want in
Okay.
the game that you want to do. So making music for games becomes, again, like the producer thing, and I don't do this. Our creative audio director does this. They
Okay.
will have contacts with people like Will Roger. I mean, if we had Will Roger or Pinar Toprak doing music for our games, that would be incredible.
Okay.
I think Will Rocher did one of the CODs. I can't remember which one, but one of them, the Call of Duties. But you go source a composer, and you work together to understand what the pillars and the feel of the game is that you're making,
Mm-hmm.
and how that would then be interpreted in music. And
Nice.
yeah, which is kind of cool. It's that producer thing. You work collaboratively with someone to create a feeling and to create a mood of what it is that you want.
Yeah. It is
Sound
cool. It is cool.
It is. It is. It's really interesting. You know, and we have a full recording studio. Well, sorry, I say a full recording studio. We have a small audio rooms with, you know, mixing desks and full sort of in the box setup and all of that sort of stuff. So you also do all of the sound, and that's where Foley. It's very much like film, but less linear.
Okay.
Because film is very. You have a picture, and you mix the audio and record the audio and do Foley and
Yeah.
you know, create and do the sound design for the film and the picture as you go.
Yeah, that's actually
game,
what I want to do, actually.
oh, it's fantastic. Have
Yeah.
you done it?
No, I want to get it. It's called the re-recording mixer engineer, which, you know, mix all the sounds and everything and the music together for like a big like Marvel's film or something like that.
Nice.
You know, that's always been one of my dreams, is to be the mixer of a big film like that.
Oh, it's so fun.
Or any film. I don't care. You know.
Yeah. Well, you can do it. You can do it for film, and you can do it for games as well. I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I mixed. I guess mixed or synced. Is there a
Okay.
sync engineer? Is that a thing? Sync engineer? I think so. We did a couple of games. Dead Space Mobile and Mass Effect Mobile in one of my old jobs when I was working for Electronic Arts.
Okay.
And I mixed for the what we call intro cinematics. So they're the kind of the movies that you see before the game starts, or they're an introduction to a level or anything like that. And I mixed the audio for those. So the music, and then sort of did some sound design on the atmospheric sounds and the sound.
Awesome.
Oh, it's fun. Do it, Sheila. That's so fun.
Oh
it's
my God!
really
Yes,
good fun.
we're gonna talk about this later
Totally,
on, Paul,
man.
because yeah, I need some direction. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's really good fun. I love it, because when
I can tell.
it's that. Yeah, when you see you're watching a piece of footage,
Yes.
and you see the sound sync just right.
Yes.
It's like suddenly you go from sort of a mono signal to this stereo or sort of atmospheric signal all around you. It's amazing. It never ceases to amaze me when that happens. It's brilliant. It's really good.
Yeah, like some of the dramatic scenes in the movie where there's this big build up, and then there's this crescendo of strings and cellos and all this stuff, and I just want to know, I mixed that. I want to say, I mixed that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm getting off topic.
Never. It's all music. It's all sound. It's all the same thing.
Yes, and that's a message I wanted to send to everybody. This is a Love for Music podcast where you just talk about anything music because you adore it so much.
Oh, yeah.
But we're gonna go on the technical side a little bit for all the nerds who want to nerd out for a minute, because I can just hear them in my ear right now. Well, you know, when are you gonna start talking about plugins and stuff, Sheila? You know, whatever.
Oh, okay.
But so as a producer, mixing engineer, have you worked in or visited other studios? Right quick, you can answer that one.
Yeah. So.
Hey everybody, this is She of Spill the Tea with She. Thank you for watching part 1 of the Love for Music series with Paul Motion, the incredible recording and mixing engineer. Well, guess what? We have a part 2, and here are some of the highlights of part 2, Spilling the Tea with Paul Motion. Yeah. Here we go now. 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 Let's get it. Here we go now.